Okay. Dobro večer svima. Hello to everyone. I will just say a few words and for opening this exhibition. I'm very glad because in this space that is alternative space for alternative art, we have this exhibition today to remember what happened 20 years ago to our country, this country, and my town. And I had 10 years when the war was happening, and I remember it very well. And it was, for sure, it was not traumatical like some other places that war happened in ex-Yugoslavia, where the war was happening on the land. But for sure it was very stressful, and still today we are experiencing the consequences of this war. I'm glad because you came tonight here, and I hope that people will see this exhibition in 10 days that will last. And that's it. Thanks to friends from Germany. We have now opportunity to see these pictures that were taken in 1999, 20 years ago. And today, 24th of March, was beginning of NATO bombing of Yugoslavia or Serbia and Montenegro.
20 years ago, that was the first war in Europe after 1945. It was a war without UN Council. This was a war outside the Charter of the NATO. Therefore, it was an attack, aggression, and therefore it is following the principles of Nuremberg, where the tribunal against the war criminals of the Nazi regime was held. This was the most important crime, this breach of the peace, which is, as they formulated, the father of all other ethnic cleansing, war crimes, and so on. The crime against the peace is the mother of all others. That was the NATO, and therefore we shouldn't forget it. And I think that this documentation, those pictures from Arbeiterfotografie, workers' photography from Germany, is documenting at the same time that there were in many other countries, even those countries who bombed this Yugoslavia at that time, there were always a peace movement and people who were in solidarity with the victims of this aggression. I mustn't explain the pictures, they are speaking as one say for themselves, but if we have the title of the exhibition, which quotes the famous Jamie Shee, he was NATO speaker at that time, about the collateral damage. And as we see, collateral damage are not the truth when the aggressor takes the so-called cassette bombs, which are especially directed against so-called weak targets. Weak targets, another word for civilians, for human beings. And when we have here a quote of a famous James Harf. He was a director from a public relation agency. There were more than 100 public relation agencies engaged by different former Yugoslav governments in Croatia, in Bosnia, then from the side of the Albanians in Kosovo, more than 100, and this famous James Harf told us when the NATO attacked Yugoslavia exactly on that 24th of March, we opened a bottle of champagne. This was his, I think, in his feelings, the weight for all this, what he did before. I think this should be not only the situation that we remember, not only the situation to discuss about if it should better to forget those crimes or to forgive them. We had at the last days a conference where it was clarified one could forgive if someone says, okay, it was a mistake, okay, I'm going to excuse me, and then so the other side can say, okay, perhaps we can forgive you. But this is not the problem. That is not the situation. We had a visit of the NATO General Secretary in this country a few weeks ago, and he told you we had to bomb you because we wanted to protect the people. It's really insane, or what is it? And the German Foreign Minister Heiko Maas told us two days before, yes, it was a responsible action to bomb Yugoslavia. They haven't learned at all, and therefore I think we have to learn our own consequences. In no way it is possible to join those criminal organizations like the NATO. And we have to pay attention what is under the, how should I say, even the European Union has it, there is a duty of all members for so-called military integration, and this military integration is commanded by NATO, of course, and therefore the values, national sovereignty and independence could only defend it with our own means, with the means of the people, and not in trusting to those organizations and corporations. In this sense, I hope you will learn and remember some consequences, like I tried to tell you at the moment for the beginning, and your own. With our pictures, I think you can make your own pictures and especially think by yourself. That's the main interest of us. Thanks.
Yes, I'm Anneliese. I'm one of the photographers who made these pictures 20 years ago, and this is Andreas, my colleague and my partner. We went together to Yugoslavia to show what we couldn't believe, what happens. There was always said it is humanity, what's going on, we do it for humanity, but there was no humanity, and we called this exhibition also collateral. It is the goal was not to bomb the military facilities, but to bomb schools and medicine, hospitals, medicine facilities, and yes, factories and normal houses where people live. And so we said we will show that to us, to Germany, because in the television and anywhere when we put on the TV, there was said, yes, the Serbs and the situation is necessary. It is necessary, it should be necessary, because of it was the so-called Kosovo crisis, Kosovo conflict, but it nothing belonged to Kosovo. All the bombs fall down to Serbia, to the midst of Serbia, and not to Kosovo. I will not speak so long. My English is also a little bit not so very perfect, but I will really say very thank you to you that you invite us to come here to you, and especially to this situation, to this year, 20 years ago, and I think that is great, and I hope maybe you will come with some kind of artist or art to come to us. We have a little gallery in Cologne that exists for about 30 years next time, and so we will have contact, and so I think we will make friendship. Perhaps some little words. It was not very easy to come in to Yugoslavia because it was after the war. The war was ended, and we tried to come in to get a visa, but there was no chance to get a visa. We asked for months and long time, and we didn't get a visa. And then later we tried, we were in Austria, and then we went to the consulate, to the embassy of Yugoslavia, and then we get there a visa for tourists, and then we came in as tourists with a car, with our car, and there was no petrol. We have to buy the petrol at the street, and it was a very strange situation. Of course, the streets are bombed, and we didn't know what we have to expect. But there were very, very nice moments. We met some people from the union.
Trade union.
From the trade union. They made some contacts for us. And we met the advocate from RTS, but a very, very impressionally face-to-face was to a little boy from about 10 or about 13 years, and he translated for us. His grandfather and older man live in a Lexinach. And so we had the possibility to talk to the people because we didn't know Spanish, we did not speak. And today, I'm so sorry, except Vala and Dobrovecha and something like this. And he translated for us. And that was a very, very, very nice situation. And these people handed us a bottle of wine from Lexinach, and they said, we don't want anything from you, or also from Germany, nothing. You have not to pay us money. You always only have to excuse what you have done, and you have to give us back what you have destroyed. That was what they said. And yes, for us it was a very, very deep experience, and we are very happy. We tried to make impressive photographs. I hope they are. And again, I say very thank you for us in our documentation. It will be a very important date that we could have show it today on this date, on the 24th. We open it here in Belgrad to bring it to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.